What's up you guys, my name is Michael Tandarich and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about things you need to avoid if you want to be rich. Now all these other channels you're going to watch that talk about this stuff are going to kind of give you fluffy things like,
oh, don't have an ego, or you need to not be jealous of people.
It's too fluffy. In today's video I'm going to go over like actual things that you need to do in order to be rich, or actually things that you need to avoid in order to be rich. Now before I dive into it, obviously there are probably a good amount of you that don't know who I am or what I do. So I'll give you a quick brief background on why I think I'm actually a good authority on this topic. So basically, I'm 28, I'm married, I have 3 kids, I run my own marketing agency that's pretty successful. I drive around in my dream car, which is a 2018 Camaro ZL1. You can look it up and see what the price is. And I have to say, to be 28, to be married, have 3 kids, run my own business, have one of my dream cars, I'd like to consider myself rich. Obviously, I know there are people out there that make millions of dollars and they're like 22. And I understand there's a lot of people that drive around in like Lamborghinis and Ferraris by the time they're 28. And obviously they're rich. But the point is I might not have all those super flashy things, but I am very well off for where I'm at. And a lot of things I'm going to talk about in a couple seconds pertain to why I'm at where I'm at. Now before I get into the first thing, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which I would love it if you did because I talk about business and marketing and making money, comment below that you're subscribed. I love interacting with the people that subscribe to my channel and building up the community. So if you subscribe, just type below, I'm subscribed, and I'll make sure to comment back. Okay, so here we go. And like I said, these are gonna be pretty concrete, but the first one is don't do drugs. Obviously we hear that growing up in school of, don't do drugs and all that stuff. But the point is there's a lot of people that do it very recreationally. And the problem with that, in my opinion, is it gets you off the track of where you want to go. In order to be rich, you have to be very, very, very focused on what you want and work extremely, extremely hard. And there are a lot of things that are gonna pull you away from that and get you distracted and make you wanna focus on different things. And those are the things you need to avoid in order to be successful. I'm pretty sure we've all heard the phrase, don't get high on your own supply.
Lesson number 2, don't get high on your own supply.
That's right.
And the reason is the person that's selling the drugs that says don't get high on your own supply is because they know they're gonna get addicted to those drugs and be taken off of the path that they're going down of selling those drugs. It's such a simple phrase and I think we all joke about it, but when you really think about it, it's so true. The point I'm making is this. Even if you do it for fun or recreationally, at some point it's gonna take you off of your path of being successful. There's also a lot of stigmas around utilizing drugs. I understand there are things that are becoming more legal, but you also have to understand not only does this mess you up in terms of your mental space, in terms of being focused on where you want to go to be rich and successful, but there's also a stigma around it where if other people find out that you're doing that kind of stuff, which is going to happen, then they're gonna think of you differently. And that's not gonna help you be successful in the long term. And I'm not gonna be able to drive this home enough, but if you wanna be successful, if you wanna be rich, you need to put everything aside and focus on that. And you have to be serious about it. And if you're not going to be, then forget it. You're never gonna be rich, you're never gonna be successful, you're just gonna talk about it all the time. Number 2, another thing that you need to avoid if you wanna be rich is drinking. Now, I know obviously I'm sounding like a complete psycho at this point, and you're like, yo, Michael, you're telling me to like not do anything. Listen, I don't care if you drink, I drink. I drink occasionally with friends, I drink like maybe once or twice a month at most. 12.7% of the US population is diagnosed as being an alcoholic. That's a pretty big number. And I got that from the Washington Post. But the point is it's another thing that is going to take you off of your path of wanting to be successful. Obviously, if you drink a lot, the next day you have a hangover, or you feel groggy, or you feel tired, and that's not gonna help you be successful. That's not gonna help you be rich. And obviously, I like a cold beer like any other guy. But if you're going to be successful, if you're going to be rich one day, then you need to focus and be completely focused on that one goal. Otherwise, you might as well just give it up. Okay, number 3 of something that you need to avoid in order to be successful is video games. Video games are a massive, massive waste of time. I can't iterate that enough. Again, just as much as I like a cold beer here and there, I like playing video games. I was pretty good at Call of Duty in college. I love video games. I love Need for Speed. I love Madden, any of those kind of video games. However, when I started to focus on wanting to be successful and being rich, I don't have any systems in my house. No video game system whatsoever. Because if it's sitting there, it's gonna be tempting directing me to want to go and play that video game, and that's just gonna take me off my path of being successful. Again, I'll reiterate this again. In order to be successful, you need to be completely focused on it at all times. And if you spend an hour playing video games, I know it feels gratifying to like win a race or win a football game or beat a level in Call of Duty, but if you are going to focus on those things, that's time wasted that you could have been focusing on being successful and being rich. And if you really want it, then you have to be okay with sacrificing things in order to get there. Okay, number 4 is having a bad mindset. What I mean by that is you're not confident. You don't think you can do it. You're not going and working really hard on things. You're not getting up early to make that work happen. You are just floating through life. And you have to have a successful, rich mindset in order to actually be rich and successful. If you want to work on your mindset, follow people like Tony Robbins or Eric Thomas or Sean Whalen or Andy Frisella or Gary Vaynerchuk or Grant Cardone. Those guys are all focused on being successful and rich, and they are, because they are focusing on those things and they have that mindset in order to get there. If you're doubting yourself, or if you think you're going to be successful one day but you're not putting in the work, you need to change your mindset. That's a huge piece to this entire thing. Okay, number 5 is not working hard. I know this kind of goes in with the mindset stuff, but if you want to be successful, you need to go and sacrifice all those other things and just work extremely hard. Obviously, I know this is pretty vague, but once you figure out what you want your path to be, whether that's starting a business or building a YouTube channel, starting a gym, building some kind of product, or doing some kind of drop shifting thing, you need to work extremely hard on that. Like the second you wake up to the second you go to bed, you need to be working on it. You need to be focusing on it. You need to be figuring out how to take it to the next level. And you need to be working extremely hard. So not only do you have to have a good mindset, but you have to also be working hard and learning and combining those two things in order to be successful and rich. Okay, number 6, and this is the last one, is not making enough money and spending too much money. A lot of times people like going out to restaurants, hanging out with friends, going to the bar, buying things, buying the new PS5, and wasting a lot of their money on that. And then on top of it, you aren't working hard enough to bring in more money. So you have a ton of money going out and nothing coming in. And that's a huge thing you need to avoid if you want to be rich. You need to learn how to budget better, and you need to learn how to bring in a ton of money. Having a good mindset, working hard, and bringing in a good amount of money. Even if that money that you're bringing in is just from things like your full-time job, and then you're working on your business at night. That's something that I used to do. And you need to be able to work very hard to bring in that money, because if you don't have a good mindset, if you're not working hard, and you're not bringing in any money, you're definitely not going to be successful. Okay, so those are the 6 things you need to avoid in order to be rich. Obviously, these things aren't easy, and obviously a lot of this stuff is temptations that are extremely hard that you're gonna need to cut in order to focus on being rich. But let me tell you this, it does take time, and by time I mean like I've been working on this for the past 8 to 10 years, and it does take a lot of effort, and you are gonna feel like you're missing out on things. But the point is, you need to be able and willing to sacrifice the short-term gratification to have the extremely long-term gratification. And trust me when I say, when you sacrifice those things in order to be successful, where I'm at now, I am so happy that I didn't do those things. I'm so happy to have the awesome family, the awesome house, the awesome car. It's totally worth it. And I'd rather be doing what I'm doing now than hanging out and just drinking all the time and doing drugs and playing video games. They feel great in the moment, but long term, they don't get you anywhere, and they actually really suck. Okay, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and if you subscribe, like I said at the beginning, comment below that you subscribe, and I'll make sure to comment back. I always love building up the community and meeting everyone. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.